Hey everybody, today we're going to be diving into one of the most interesting, creative covered call ETFs out there, and that ETF is QDVO, and that is one of the best ones out there, and it's brand new. And the cool thing is, no one is even talking about it. Now, this ETF is a little bit different than a lot of the other ETFs like QQQI, JEPQ, or even JEPQ. And today we're going to be discussing and talking about how QDVO is beating some of these best covered call ETFs out there. Hey guys, my name is Steve, and I run the Frugal Expat website where we try to help people to save more and invest better. And today we're going to be talking about QDVO and how it is one of the best covered call ETFs that you could be buying and holding and putting into your portfolio. Alright, let's get to it. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and to help the YouTube algorithm to make this video continue to grow and reach more and more people. Alright, let's get to it. Now, QDVO is the Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF. Whoa, that is a mouthful. Now, this ETF has been around since August of 2024, and it's been around not that long. But it's one of the most interesting ones out there because it kind of combines some of what we like about dividend ETFs, some of what we like about covered call ETFs, and some of what we like about, just having a little bit more upside with a little bit more income. And that's the cool thing about this. Now, it's an active managed ETF where instead of tracking an index like QQQI tracks the Nasdaq 100 or JEPQ tracks the Nasdaq 100, this is creating an ETF where they're taking some of the best 40 to 60 dividend paying companies on the S&P 500 and they're selling covered calls on them. Now, they're not capping the upside like you'll see on QQQI, and they're not getting the highest yield like QQQI, but it's getting some great price appreciation. It's getting some good yield, and the price is not that expensive. So it's a good place where we can start to buy and hold and also get yield and some price appreciation with this ETF. Now, why could QDVO be a great ETF that you could buy and hold in your portfolio? Now, it's got two different approaches. It's got a growth portion and an income portion. So it's got like a barbell strategy, kind of like FDVV. Now, if you guys remember, FDVV is a great dividend ETF that has a lot of growth and a lot of income due to dividends. This is the same kind of approach QDVO is doing, but it's doing it a little bit differently. So what they're doing is they're taking, like I said, anywhere between the 20, 40 to about 60 different holdings on the market. They are looking for growth. So their top holdings are Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple. It's also got Visa and Broadcom as well. And so you got a lot of growth. And the way they're doing income is they're selling some covered calls on some of those underlying assets to create a yield anywhere between 10 to 11 to 12% of the yield. Now, right now, the yield is sitting around 9.82%, but it kind of fluctuates anywhere between 10 to 13%, giving you that income portion. Now, like I said, it's got some growth portion. If we take a look at it compared to the S&P 500, compared to QQQI, and compared to JEPQ, the growth portion of the price appreciation has gone up almost 9% year to date, while QQQI is up about 5% and JEPQ is up around 2.27%. So the upside is not capped as much as some of those other covered call ETFs. Now, the good news about this ETF is it also has some good income. So if you're looking for those incomes, you're retiring wanting income, then QDVO is something that gives you some of that income. It also has growth, and it also has a cheaper expense ratio than QQQI. Now, today we're going to be talking about this ETF. We're going to compare it to QQQI and JEPQ. We're going to look at the performance, the expenses. We're going to look at the yield. We're going to look at to see if this could belong in your portfolio. So, without further ado, let's break it down on those different metrics. Hey guys, if you'd like to see how much your portfolio is producing in dividend income, one of the best places I like to look is Snowball Analytics. Snowball Analytics is a great platform where you can put it on your phone, you can put it on your computer, you can go to it, you can add your portfolio not only from one account, like if you have a Vanguard account, a Fidelity account, maybe M1 Finance, maybe a Robinhood, you can combine all those accounts into one place and look at Snowball Analytics. Snowball Analytics allows you to analyze your goals for for your future. If you want to have $2,000 per month in annual income, then you can add that goal and create that goal for your future. If you want to track how much money you are getting monthly, annually, and through dividends, Snowball Analytics is a great place to see. If you want to see, like, if you want to have a $1.5 million goal and see how it produces in the next 20 years, you can adjust it for inflation. You can adjust it for how much you want to add per month. And this is just a great platform to make these things happen. Snowball Analytics is a great platform that I've been using since February, and I love it, and I continue to talk about it. I want to thank Snowball Analytics for sponsoring this video. They're a great partner, and I continue to use them. Now, if you want to sign up for Snowball Analytics, I'll leave a link in the description and a link in my pinned comments. All right, let's get back to the rest of the video. Now, like I said, we're going to have QDVO go against some of the top dogs in this market, which is QQQI and JEPQ. Now, QQQI is a news Nasdaq 100 high income ETF. Now, this ETF has been around since 2023. It's got a pretty good yield of anywhere between 13 to 15%. It pays monthly dividends, which is great. Now, most of those dividends are paid in ROC, and QDVO does the same thing with ROC, so that's a return of capital. Now, QQQI is a great one if you're looking for some high income. Like I said, their yield is anywhere between 13 to 15%. It sells cover calls on the Nasdaq 100 assets, so that's talking about Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, some of the best ones on the Nasdaq 100. And so you're getting a lot of growth and you're getting a lot of income. Now, it doesn't have the price appreciation as a QDVO, but it is a great one if you're looking for some great income. Now, the expense ratio is sitting at 0.68%, which means it costs about $68 for every $10,000 invested. Now, JEPQ is the JP Morgan version of QQQI, but it's a little bit different. Now, it's got an expense ratio of 0.35%, meaning it costs about $35 for every $10,000 invested. It sells cover calls on the Nasdaq 100 assets. Now, it's a little bit different. It sells ELNs, which is equity linked notes, which is a little bit different. It allows them to control their option strategy a little bit differently, but all the income coming in is taxed at the ordinary income rate. QQQI is taxed a little bit differently when they're using 1256 contracts, and so that's more tax advantage. And JEPQ is a little bit older than QQQI, and so a lot of people like it. QQQI, people like it because it's a lot of high income. Now let's dive in to see which one is the best one for you. Now, costs really matter, and today we're going to talk about the expense ratios of each one of these. JEPQ has an expense ratio of 0.35%, so it means it costs $35 for every $10,000. QDVO has an expense ratio of 0.55%, meaning it costs about $55 for every $10,000 invested. And QQQI has an expense ratio of 0.68%, meaning it costs $68 for every $10,000 invested. So the winner on this would be JEPQ, being the cheaper version. QDVO is the second cheapest version, while QQQI is the most expensive version on this list. So your hope is, if you're having a more expensive expense ratio, you're hoping you're going to get a little bit more yield. And so we're going to talk a little bit about yields right now. Now, QQQI has a yield anywhere between 12 to 15%. It fluctuates depending on how the market is working. In a sideways market, it's going to have a little bit more yield. In an up market, it's going to be maybe a little bit less depending on how much the upside is capped. And we shall see how much it is. So if you invest about $10,000 into QQQI, you can expect anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 annually in income. If it's $100,000, just add an extra zero. That's $12,000 to $15,000. And this dividends are paid out monthly, so that's good news to you. Now we look at QDVO, which is anywhere between 10 and maybe 13%. So if you were to invest $10,000, that's anywhere between $1,000 to $1,300 per year. And if it was $100,000, that's anywhere between $10,000 and $12,000. It is paid out monthly in distributions, just like QQQI, and so that's a little bit about that. So JEPQ has a yield of anywhere between 9 to about 12%, and that means you're just getting a little bit less in QQQI. If you invest $10,000, you're getting anywhere between $1,000 to about $1,200 per year, and it's taxed at ordinary rates. compared to QDVO and QQQI, which is taxed at more favorable rate, which has about 60% being capital gains and about 40% being short-term capital gains. So that's something to think about. So the winner here is going to be QQQI, followed by QDVO and JEPQ. Now, all three of these are great for income if you look at it, because SEHD, one of the best dividend ETFs out there, has a yield of about 3.8%, and VYM has a yield of about 2.5%. And so with a yield of anywhere over 9 to 10%, these ETFs are giving you a lot more income. So that's good news to you. Now, the next question is, how is the performance of these ETFs? Now, we're looking at not only total performance, but we're also going to look at price appreciation. We do not want those NAV erosions to take apart where the NAV is going down 10 to 11% while we're getting a 10 to 11% yield. That means our money is not going anywhere. And we can see this with a lot of covered call ETFs, like ULTY is one of those that have huge NAV erosions and huge dividend distributions, and so you're not really making much money at all. So that's why we got to take a look at the performance. Let's get on to some price appreciations for these ETFs. So when I look at performance, I want to see the price appreciation. I want to see these kind of grow without having that income part. And that's where QDVO kind of rocks out. I mean, it's been around since August of 2024. And since then, its price appreciation is over 16%. That is amazing news. And that's something I like to see. Now let's look at JEPQ versus QQQI as well. With QQQI, the price appreciation since its inception, which was in 2023, is 8.66%. JEPQ has been around a little bit longer, since 2022, and its price appreciation is sitting at 16.48%, and that is over the long term. Now, QDVO has been around since just 1 year, and its price appreciation is sitting at 16.73%. So it's beating all three of these. Now let's look at the total return of each one of these, not only for year to date, but also since their inception. Now, year to date, QDVO is sitting at about 18.77%. QQQI is sitting at 16.90%, and JEPQ is sitting at about 11.18%. So year to date in total return, QDVO wins. Now, if we looked at the total return, QDVO has, since it's been around since just 1 year, has a total return over 29%. QQQI has been around since almost 2 years, a little bit longer, and its total return is a little bit over that, and its total return is sitting closer to 37.98%. And since JEPQ has been around the longest, it's been around for almost 4 years, its total return is about 70%. So we're seeing that QDVO is averaging close to 26, 27, 28% since its inception, while QQQI is sitting almost at 3 years, but it's averaging a little bit less, maybe around 15, 16%. And JEPQ, since it's been around the longest, has possibly the total return the biggest. But QDVO is kind of beating these in the total return and the average it's having. And that's amazing news. And that's because it doesn't cap its upside. I mean, we can see that the S&P 500 is up almost 15% this year, while QDVO is up almost 10%. And that's in price return alone. And that's amazing news. So we're looking at some great performances from this one ETF. Now, is this ETF the best one out there? Well, that's a great question. I mean, if you're looking for growth, it's got some great growth. If you're looking for income, it's got some great income. Now, if you combine those, and then you have one ETF that kind of beats an ETF like FDVV, which is a growth and income kind of barbell strategy. This is a pure one where you're getting not only like 9, 8, 10% return from price appreciation, you get 9, 8, 10% return on yield as well. So that combines to create a great ETF, giving you some of that growth and income part of your portfolio. Now, who should consider QDVO in their portfolio? Now, first of all, if you're getting closer to retirement and you're trying to build income for your portfolio, but you also want a little bit of growth into it as well, then this could be a great one for you. I mean, it doesn't have the income like QQQI, but it's got some pretty good income of anywhere between 9, 10, 11, or 12%. It's also got some good growth part of it. So when a bull market is happening, the upside is not capped as much, and you're able to kind of maximize that income into your portfolio. Another great reason could be you may not be looking for a JPQ, which has a little bit more taxes on their distributions, and that could be something you're looking at as well. Should you have the kind of strategy like QQQI with the ROC? Well, QDVO has the ROC, and it's distributing anywhere between 90 to 95% ROC, and so that could be something that you may be looking at. So that tax efficiency is something that you could add to your portfolio. Now, investors that are looking to grow their portfolio and not have the income portion of it may not want QDVO. They may want QQQ. They may want SMH. They may want SPMO. Those are all growth-focused ETFs that are growing their money more without having the income a part of it. So if you're looking for more growth, if you're younger, if you're looking to get your portfolio from point A at 100,000 to close to $1 million in maybe 5, 10, 15 years, well, QDVO may not be that ETF for you. If you're looking for income instead of all that growth, well, QDVO could be an ETF for you. Now, a lot of people are talking about QDVO in my comments, and so I wanted to make a video kind of comparing it to QQQI and JEPQ. And this is the video I'm making. And so let me know in the comments, do you like QDVO? Should you invest in it? Are there other ETFs that I could be talking about that you may like? So let me know in the comments. And if you want to sign up for Snowball Analytics, there's a link in the description, link in the pinned comments. And if you want to check out a video about some of the 5 top monthly income ETFs, check out this video up here, and I'll see you in the next video.